ESPN 1420, ESPN1420.com, and the ESPN 1420 app. Welcome back into the Great Sports Callers Open Think Tank. It is Tuesday. Typically, he'll be joining us on Monday mornings this football season, but with the Labor Day holiday yesterday, he's joining us on a Tuesday, 5 days before his Ragin Cajuns kick off their season. Louisiana Ragin Cajun head coach Billy Napier. Coach, I would ask you how your Labor Day was, but I imagine it was a little laborious because while most folks were taking it off, you were busy at work, right?
Yeah, Scott, we're right in the middle of our in-season routine here. Typical game week. Monday was Monday. It's certainly a little bit ahead of schedule because it's the opener, but in general, we're trying to create some consistency with our routine and work really hard with the staff yesterday, nothing with the players. We'll turn it back up today with our Tuesday practice this afternoon.
You're about to kick off season number 3 as head coach, but just because the season's kicking off Saturday doesn't mean your third season is starting. You've been, you're very much about sort of routine and preparation and getting better each day. So in terms of the phases of your yearly calendar, I know you've had to make some adjustments because it's been the most unusual off-season and fall camp probably that you've ever had. What phase are you guys in with opening kickoffs coming up on Saturday?
Well, we've moved into our in-season approach. I think we tried to have a couple of trial runs last week, where we would execute a Sunday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday to get ahead, maybe iron out the wrinkles a little bit. We do have a new group of players. We got a lot of young players who have no experience with this process, and then certainly a lot of members of our staff are new. So, you always got to hit that reset button and assume it, nothing. And I think our guys are catching on and excited about doing it all over again this week.
Billy Napier, our guest. Coach, fans, when they ask me about this team, they're always asking about the wide receiver position and the depth and the lack of experience. And I know that you guys were hit by a number of injuries there, but you do have some guys that, like a Peter LeBlanc, who's got some experience last year as a freshman. How is he feeling? Where is he at? And, do you think he'll be, he along with Jalen Williams, the go-to guys for you guys?
Well, I think we're fortunate that we've got Peter and Jalen, coming back, and they do have significant playing time. They're going to, have poise and understand what's coming next. I think after that is where there's tons of competition. I am very pleased with the 4 rookie players that we did sign, and I think they all have an opportunity to contribute to our team. And then a lot of those role players behind them have done a nice job. So it's going to be competitive, but I do think the young talent there would have been a factor regardless, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And this has just sped up that process in general.
Well, whether it be Kyron Lacey or Dante Fleming or Errol Rogers Jr., the depth chart I know can change throughout a season, but do any of the young guys, does anyone have maybe a leg up on the depth chart right now over the other guys, or are they still just kind of in the heat of competition?
Well, I think Fleming is the one that maybe has really proved to be a consistent, dependable, very productive player. He's mature, he's smart, he's got really good character. He's durable, he can practice. I've been very impressed with him, and I think he's one of the bright spots of this rookie group. So, Kyron Lacey fits into that category. Golden AK, Errol Rogers, all 4 of those young players are probably even a little better than we expected. So, good young group there, and those guys will just get better as the season goes. I think a lot of volume in training camp, where you go out there every day and you're pulling from the entire playbook, whereas now we can narrow our focus, give them specific roles, and I think that makes it a little bit easier for them to play and contribute.
How are you guys doing from a health standpoint? Has the last week or so been kind to you guys, or y'all have some guys that have been nicked up a little bit?
No, we're getting healthier. I think we had your typical training camp issues, nothing outside of the ones that we reported to you guys. But overall, when we take the field today, this will be the healthiest we've been in a while.
That's good news. In terms of your running backs, you got a deep running back room there, and two that have had plenty of experience in Trey Regis and Elijah Mitchell. Do you foresee potentially the offense using more two running back sets this year, whether it be because of youth at receiver or just because you've got two really good running backs?
Well, we're going to stick with our usual model. I think we're a one-back system. We feature several backs. We like to keep them fresh, keep them healthy, rotate them throughout. I think obviously Chris Smith, you guys had an opportunity to see him last year. He will very much be a factor. And then, Amani Bailey, T.J. Wisham also have been impressive. So we got a good group there, and certainly, that's the strength of our team. And, we'll continue to kind of operate, making sure that running back is a featured player and gets lots of opportunities and touches.
No question about it. ESPN 1420, ESPN1420.com, and the ESPN 1420 app. Ragin Cajun head football coach Billy Napier, our guest this morning. Quarterback depth chart. Who is number 3 on that depth chart right now?
Well, we've got a battle for our backup position. Ave Mangale and Chandler Fields will be competing for that job each and every week. A lot of what we observe this week will determine that decision, and it'll be that way going forward. I think I wouldn't have any issue with playing either one of them. I think they've both done a really good job in training camp. They both can play winning ball. They've proved that over time. So we're fortunate to have a good group there. I think the way we practice, where we 2-spot drills, gives them equal reps. So we're able to develop those guys as players. But in general, that would be a weekly decision that we'll make based off of performance.
Gotcha. Iowa State, you're going on the road against a ranked team. As soon as you caught word that you might have a matchup with the Cyclones, I know you guys put the film in there. What stands out to you in all the film study you've done?
Well, just a well-coached team. Matt Campbell, I think, is a superstar that's going to be doing this for a long time. I think he's a great leader. I think he's got a good blueprint for how they play offense and defense and special teams and how that works well together. They play really hard. I think they're tough. And, they had 4 games last year that came down to, 1 or 2 plays, and they might have won 11 games last year. So a lot of people are picking them to win the Big 12 this year. There's certainly saw earlier where a guy came out and said he thinks they're going to make the Final Four. So this is definitely one of the better teams in the country. They've got a veteran team, veteran quarterback, and their staff, for the most part, has been able to remain intact. So, great matchup for the opener, and certainly going to be a formidable opponent and a big challenge for our team.
The backdrop of playing on the road in a stadium that isn't going to be filled or have fans, do you have to put any kinks in the preparation? Do you change things a little bit when you get word that they're not going to have what they thought they were going to have in the stadium?
Well, we can't worry about that or control that. I think the big thing for us is, what we do between now and then, and that's where we're going to focus our time.
I guess what I mean, Coach, is like, do you guys, if you're going on the road, do you ever do, let's just say, for example, you're practicing a 2-minute drill, do you ever pipe in some noise that now you don't have to, like a small kink like that, nothing major or anything?
Yeah, no, we do that every Thursday, regardless if we're home or away, just to vet and test our communication, both verbal and nonverbal. We pipe in music and crowd noise to the indoor every Thursday to try to simulate those things, and we'll do that this week as well.
Billy Napier, our guest. Coach, has this been, in all your years as a player and assistant and now, a few years as a head coach, has this been the most emotional fall camp ever?
Well, it's definitely been unique, and certainly I think there's been a lot of emotion. I think the COVID-19 is one thing, but I think you throw in Hurricane Laura, you throw in Coach Looney, you throw in some of the social issues and the unrest around our country. The combination of all those things the emotion and uncertainty of not really knowing if we were ever going to play, and having to work hard in those uncertain times. I think that's where I'm proud of our players. Is I do think they did what we asked them to do. So and that's me. I'm 41 years old and got a wife and kids. I can just imagine if I was a young person dealing with all of these things, how difficult that could be. So I do think that our team has responded well. I think it's going to benefit them later in life. They have to go through difficult times. I always say that, the difficult things that you go through in life always produce the most growth. You don't know it when you're in the middle of that fire, but, down the road you look back and you say, you know what, that benefited me. I'm thankful, for what I learned through those times. And certainly this fits in that category for sure.
Billy Napier, our guest. I know at this point you guys have more prepping to do, but you're ready to kick this season off. This game being against a ranked team on ESPN, you got a chance to really spotlight the program. Is that ever discussed with the team, or is the preparation process the same regardless of if it's on ESPN3 or on ESPN against the ranked team?
Well, I think, you're burying your head in the sand if you don't talk about it.
Right.
I think we have addressed it. Certainly, it's opportunity. It's part of the event. And I think that it's a good thing for our university. It's a great thing for our community, and certainly for our program. And we want to perform well, right? We want to make people proud. We want to do our best. And I think we got to channel all these things toward our preparation, right? What we do each day is what's most important. If you want to have confidence and play well and really play fast and have a really good grasp of what you're doing, you got to put in the time, and obviously we've started that process of getting them ready. And it's up to each individual person, as players and staff, to do their best relative to their role. And I know we've got a group that's going to take great pride in that.
Good stuff. Coach Billy Napier has been our guest, ESPN 1420. Coach, last question. I don't know if it's football related or not, but you and I talk about the routine and the importance of routine when it comes to preparation. Somebody that you've coached with, Nick Saban, I think folks know who he is. There was an article years back that he eats 2 Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies for breakfast pretty much every day. Is there a superstition or a dietary note, or maybe something you do with the kids during game week? Is there something that Billy Napier, outside of your normal football preparation process, is there something outside of it that you're very routine about as it relates to everyday life?
Well, I'm going to eat that ice cream on Friday night. I can promise you that, with the team. That's always going to happen. So I know our players look forward to it. We got a big ice cream bar they set up for our guys. When we get to this time of the season, we look forward to that. So if that's what you're talking about, Friday night, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be eating some of that ice cream.
What's your favorite flavor?
No, we go, we've went different directions over the years, but typically, we're vanilla ice cream with a number of different toppings. Just depends on what city we're in, what the hotel's got, but you'd be surprised. These people do a really good job taking care of us.
For the first time in program history, Louisiana makes the trek to Ames, Iowa, nationally televised matchup. And radio-wise, you can hear it right here, ESPN 1420 and .com, Hot 107.9 via Learfield IMG College. We got pregame at 9 with Ragin Cajun Hall of Famer Chris Gannon and Steve Peliquin. I'll be producing. Jay Walker and Gerald Broussard in the booth, Cody Juneau on the sidelines. We look forward to airing all of Ragin Cajun's football games this season. Coach, safe travels to Ames. Best of luck this week, man, and always appreciate you taking the time. I'll talk to you again on Monday.
All right, Scott. Thank you, man.
All the best.